Hi Pisces, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick question. This week, or should I say last week, what was last week like for you? Especially at the midpoint, like between Wednesday and Thursday, was things a bit weird? I'm asking all of the signs this week because it was just a bit of an odd week. I had emails, text messages, phone calls. It was some crazy, right? And I'm really curious at this point. So I want to hear from you guys before you even watch the rest of the video. Let me know in the comments. With that said, remember these are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share. And if you should so choose and this resonates, hit the subscribe button so you have the star card for your key to the week this week. With that said, this is hope for the future, right? It's joy, hope, laughter, but it's also an unshakable sense of trust in both yourself and the universe. Why? Because the star card follows the tower, which means that you've come through unimaginable intensity. And one of the things that I love most about this card is whenever it shows up, it means that there is hope. It means that there's hope for the future, that you have, the best really has yet to come, right? As cliche as it sounds, it really is true. And I always say this to my clients as well, like the reason that the cliches last is because they're true, right? We might hate that they are, but they are, right? They stand to the test of time because they're right. And it is what it is. Now, in all of these different areas of life, you are going to get a glimpse, just a glimpse of the hope and also, more importantly, of the possibilities that are able to shape up for you. So for your actions and options, you've got the Two of Pentacles. This with the Two of Pentacles with the Star card. This is whatever your financial destiny was at the moment, or should I say this week, you get a deep insight into how you can improve it. This may come through a job, it may come through a second job, it may come through a side hustle, but you realize powerfully this week that you have another way to make money or a way to enhance the earning potential that you currently have. In terms of the options that are available to you, this week you might have to do a little bit of juggling, right? This week you might have to do a little bit of financial gymnastics, it's possible, but it's also possible this week as well that you get a really powerful glimpse into skills, knowledge, or even insight that you're not using in some way. And then when you come out of that realization, it's like, okay, I'm going to put this into practice. I'm going to do something with it now. For your communications and conversations, you have the Nine of Wands. So this is not an easy card, right? But what I will say, it does speak to our resilience, right? It shows us what we are actually able to do when we stick in for it. Now, in terms of your career and your communications, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this week, it's almost like whatever you're studying, you realize how it can empower you in some way, how it can inform your situation. And you might find as well, with everything that you've been dealing with in the background, this week it's like you gain some kind of support, right? Somebody sees the way that you continue on your grind and says to you, hey, listen, you know what? If you ever need any help, I'm there for you, but I just want to say you're handling this like an absolute boss. The other thing with the Nine of Wands, remember, this is about admitting a vulnerability. And I think this with the Star card, it's like that powerful insight to say, okay, you know what? I acknowledge that there is an area of my life that I need help with, but that's how I'm going to move forward. It's not by sort of burying my head in the sand and ignoring it. It's by opening it up and really examining what those wounds actually are. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, I think this week, if you're employed by someone else, you realize what your Achilles heel is, right? Where it is that maybe you don't have enough knowledge, where the gap between sort of where you are now and where you'd like to be actually is, or where it comes from. And there's a self-honesty here, right? For those of you that are business owners, this is getting really clear about the skills or the knowledge that you need as a business owner that you don't currently have. There's an acknowledgement here of, you know what, I need to invest in myself with this and this, because this is what's going to help me sort of move forward. What it also kind of tells you as well is it gives you a really strong sense that actually not only is there hope for the future, but there is it's like you're gaining skills at the moment. Like, you realize this week that you're gaining skills that you didn't know you needed. So it's like, at the moment while you're going through it, it's like, oh, this sucks and it feels uncomfortable and it's painful and it's but actually this is training me. This is teaching me. This is giving me something that I didn't know I needed. And that's one of the beauties about having your own business, right? You learn so many things. Like, I advise everybody to do it, right? Because you learn so many things in the process, things that you never thought that you would have to do, you learn in the process. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this with the star card, this might actually be where you kind of consider your future, but you're considering it in a way of, okay, what's missing from my present that if I don't rectify now is going to be a problem later on. And then with that Two of Pentacles here, you might be thinking about things like your pension. You might really have your mind very focused on things like that. Like, how much money extra do I need to bring in a month if I want to live this kind of lifestyle in my future? And what am I prepared to do right now about making that happen? For your love and relations, you've got the Nine of Pentacles. So for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, the relationship is good. You've got two nines here. Two nines is receipts. So the past in some way could show up. And the Nine of Pentacles, this is your significant other saying, look, okay, you know what? Maybe your paycheck is not doing it at the moment, but I just want you to enjoy yourself or enjoy your experience, so let me do this for you. So partners could be buying you gifts, they could be giving you something nice, they could be booking an experience for you, they could be really supporting you in a very practical, material, tangible kind of way that makes you feel really loved and really supported. If you're single, you could be talking to somebody online this week, or potentially if you're here in the UK, you could be talking to someone in the States. If you're already in the States, you could be talking to someone in Singapore, maybe in Brighton, here in the UK, maybe in Zurich, over in Switzerland. There's lots of conversations to be had, which is great. And, I'll give you my usual spiel. We're not out here in 2024 being catfished. Everybody and their second grandmother has a smartphone at this point. It's just not acceptable, right? If you can't speak to somebody once on FaceTime when you meet them online, something wrong, keep it moving, okay? Now, I love this though, because the Nine of Pentacles suggests that they are the right kind of down to earth that you need as a Pisces, right? It's not too earthy, it's not too heavy, but it's just the right amount for you, which I love, love, love. Before we get into the rest of it, my tarot course is now open. It's open from the 18th, so enrollment is open from the 18th to the 30th of April. There's only 20 spaces, so it will close on the 30th of April, unless all the spaces are filled. I keep it small to 20 at max because I want to make sure I give you individual attention. You get in weekly classes. There's about 3 hours each week. 12 to 15 PDFs, you got bonus videos, live client demos, live client practice. We're going to talk astrology, numerology. You get a whole bunch of stuff that I'm throwing in with this, and I am super proud of this course. It is the last one that I'll be running this year as well, because I've got a lot of other things that I want to bring you for the latter half of this year. So stay tuned for that. I think you're going to be really excited about it. One of which as well, lots of people have asked me about, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, all in all, If you want to get that, there's a link in the description box below. The course is 747. It's payable in 3 installments. First installment is a non-refundable deposit. And quite frankly, I am really proud of this. So if you want to learn to read tarot like me, if you want to get inside of this big bulbous brain of mine and suck out all of the tarot knowledge, then this is the course for you. All right. For your money and materials, you have the Knight of Swords, especially with the Star card. This is an elevation. I love this actually for career. I really like this for conversations that are going to change your financial outlook and destiny. I think this week you realize that something is a lot more within your grasp or your reach than you realized. And actually you kind of, this week I feel like you're going to be spurred into action. It's like as soon as you realize something is more possible than you thought it was or believed it was, you kind of just go, right, fuck it, I'm in and I'm gonna go for it, right? Like you charge in, you get in and you make it happen. I'm here for this. I'm so here for this. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this with the Star card, your arms, your upper extremities, your cardio and your motor skills. It looks like some of you are doing something that requires a lot of hand-eye coordination, which, you know, is never a bad thing. It's really good for the brain actually. So it'll be interesting to see what that shows up as. And then when it comes to your home and environment, to be quite frank, when the Knight of Swords shows up in the home, yes, it can be issues that you have with the home. That's possible. You know, it could be arguments or disputes, but very often it's that the home is so busy that you don't, or you're so busy that home just kind of feels like a bit of a base of operations. It's like you're coming and going. There's so much happening that you're just like, well, you know, it kind of is what it is. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.